Picture this. You have been living in someone else's shadow your whole life. Working the land, building the ships, fishing the waters. But every major decision about your future is being made by people who live hours away and do not really know you or care what you need. Now, imagine the morning that finally changes. Stay with me, because on March 15th, 1820, the people of one of the most rugged and determined places in America woke up as something brand new. And the man who made it happen started his life working in a lumber mill. For nearly 180 years, Maine has been attached to Massachusetts like a younger sibling who never gets a say at the dinner table. The people of Maine are farmers, fishermen, loggers, and shipbuilders. Tough, self-reliant, practical people. By 1820, almost 300,000 of them were living there. But their laws are made in Boston. Their taxes go to Boston. And when the British invaded Maine's coastline during the War of 1812, Massachusetts did not send help. That was the breaking point. A man named William King has been fighting for Maine's independence for years. He does not come from privilege. He grew up poor, educated himself, started as a teenager in a lumber mill, and eventually built ships, ran banks, and earned his neighbors' trust the honest way. He leads the push. He runs the Constitutional Convention, and when the delegates vote on who should lead Maine if statehood comes, the result is 153 votes for William King and 1 vote against. Maine's path to statehood is not simple. In Washington, a fierce debate is raging over the balance of power between northern and southern states. Maine's statehood petition gets tangled in the middle of it all. The deal that is finally struck becomes known as the Missouri Compromise of 1820. Maine enters the Union as a free state, and the balance in Congress holds, at least for now. On March 15th, 1820, it is official. Maine is the 23rd state in the United States of America. And the next morning, the Eastern Argus newspaper reports that the day was met across every town with, and I love this phrase, every demonstration of joy and heartfelt congratulations. Cannons boom. A grand ball is held at Portland's Union Hall. People who have waited for this their entire lives finally get to celebrate something they built together. William King, the boy from the lumber mill, is their first governor. Maine goes on to give the United States some of its most remarkable people and stories. Joshua Chamberlain, the college professor turned Civil War hero, holds the line at Gettysburg in one of the most celebrated acts of courage in American military history. Hannibal Hamlin, Abraham Lincoln's first vice president, calls Maine home. And the state's tradition of fierce independence and deep connection to the natural world shapes American culture in ways that are still felt today. Nearly 300,000 people took a chance on themselves in 1820. They said, "We are ready to stand on our own." And here is what moves me most about this story. William King did not wait for someone to hand him an opportunity. He built one. For himself, yes, but more importantly, for every person living in that rugged, beautiful corner of the country who deserved a voice of their own. I wonder sometimes how many of us are sitting on a story just like that. Not a state, maybe, but a dream you have been working toward quietly. A chapter of your life that felt overlooked, underestimated, or attached to someone else's story for far too long. And I think about the people who came after William King, the children and grandchildren who grew up in a state that existed because someone before them refused to quit. What are you building right now that the people who come after you will be grateful for? Have you thought about writing those stories down? The struggles, the small victories, the moments that shaped who you are? Because someday, someone you love is going to wish with everything they have that they could ask you one more question. Do not let those stories disappear. They are worth more than you know. So today, March 15th, raise a quiet toast to Maine. To the farmers, fishermen, and lumber workers who said, "Enough, we are ready." To William King, who taught himself everything he needed to know and then turned around and used it to serve the people around him. And to the 23rd star that finally found its place on the flag. If this kind of history stirs something in you, then you are exactly where you belong. History Sparks brings you a brand new story every single day. Stories about real people who did remarkable things and left the world better than they found it. Join this community. Hit that subscribe button and be here with us every day.